I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about UFC undisputed welterweight champion Leon Edwards closes the door on a July return in London, eyes the Dubai card in October. How about that? Leon Edwards has closed the door on returning to fight on July 22nd at the rumored UFC 291 pay-per-view in London, England. Instead, the welterweight champion wants to fight in Dubai in October. Leon Edwards is coming off back-to-back wins against the former pound-for-pound king, Kamal Usman. Leon Edwards made his first successful defense of his title last month at UFC 286 in March, edging a majority. It was just a majority. I thought it was unanimous. It should have been unanimous. Edging a majority decision in front of his home crowd in London versus Kamal Usman. After Kobe Chaos Covington weighed in as the backup fighter at UFC 286 headliner, UFC President Dana White confirmed that Kobe Chaos Covington would be the number one contender for the welterweight gold, and has since doubled down on that statement in multiple interviews. Kobe Chaos Covington deserves this shot at the title, is what Dana White said. The Birmingham local fails to see why Leon Edwards fails to see why the boss is eager to have Kobe Covington challenge him next, given his quote lack of activity in the division and his no notable wins against the elite at heavyweight. Okay, Kobe Covington last outing occurred last March 2022 when he won a unanimous decision victory over Jorge Masvidal. Still, Kobe Chaos Covington has disclosed that Dana White has assured him that Leon Edwards will be stripped if he refused to sign on the dotted. Okay, that's cap. I mean, come on. Leon Edwards closes the door on a July return. However, the champion has other ideas and has no desire to compete in July, regardless of what Kobe Covington says. No, he will not fight at UFC London unless it comes with some stupid money. The bag always talks. What is Leon Edwards talking about? Leon Edwards told, what do you mean no, he will? No, like, is he talking in third person or he's talking about Kobe Covington? Unless the stupid money comes, I don't see it. I'd literally have to get back into training camp next week. I kind of agree with him. Like, he is right. Like, okay, I'll get into that. He's right about this. Actually, I agree with Leon Edwards about this. I fought less than a month ago, literally, right? March to July. I don't think that makes sense. In the last year or so, I fought 3 times. I think I love to fight now towards the end of the year in the Dubai card. UFC 294 card would be great. That would be perfect. I get to nurse my injuries. I get time to get back into it. I feel Dubai would be perfect. After winning the welterweight, yada, yada, yada. You know what? I kind of agree with Leon Edwards on this one. Like, at first I didn't agree with Leon Edwards because his literal first statement after he defended the title versus Kamal Usman, and I'm an MMA casual, but I do remember this. Leon Edwards said that he felt that Jorge Masvidal deserved the title fight more than Kobe Chaos Covington, and that statement made at least no sense to me because Kobe Chaos Covington just defeated Jorge Masvidal, and so I didn't understand what the hell Leon Edwards was talking about. But now this statement, I kind of agree with him. Like, he's not talking about who he's fighting next. He's talking about, like, listen, I literally just fought a 5-round championship fight versus someone who last year at this time was the pound-for-pound king. I knocked him out last year in August of last year, and now I just defeated him in a 5-round unanimous decision, in my home country. the idea that I have to get back into training camp for a fight in July, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like, I totally agree with him. I don't see the UFC stripping Leon Edwards in July if he doesn't. That just doesn't make sense. If they want to make an interim title between Kobe Chaos Covington and Chimaev, or Kobe Chaos Covington and Bilal Muhammad, or Kobe Chaos Covington and Shakov Rachmanov, then, it is what it is. But I don't really see the UFC literally stripping Kobe Chaos, Leon Edwards, because he's not ready to compete in July. Like he said, he fought in March, 5 rounds. You have March, April, May, June. That's like literally like 3 months to get back into fighting shape for what could be another 5 round fight. I think that's a little bit too early, but the UFC is starting to run a little bit dry here. If you think about this summer, John Jones and Stipe Miocic has not been announced. Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler has not been announced. It's getting kind of quiet here. We don't know what Jamal Hill versus Yuri could happen at UFC 291. Maybe that could happen. I'm thinking if you're gonna lose Leon Edwards, who's going to fight? Who's going to be the headliner? Maybe Israel Adesanya versus Dricus Du Plessis. Maybe that, or versus Robert Whittaker, or versus Sean Strickland, or versus Hamza Chimaev. I'm thinking because that card is free now, maybe Israel Adesanya jumps up for that card. Now it makes a little bit less sense because Israel Adesanya fought a month after Leon Edwards, but Israel Adesanya won his fight in the second round, so he didn't take too much damage as opposed to Leon Edwards, who fought 5 rounds. But maybe Israel Adesanya wants to take the summer off also, right? To say like, I got knocked out last year. I just came back, defeated Alex Pereira. Maybe I want to fight later on this year, so then it's going to be really dry because Brandon Moreno, he already has a fight scheduled. Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo, they're fighting next month. Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez, that fight's at UFC 290. Islam Makhachev, his next fight is going to be in Dubai. Then you have the welterweight. Leon Edwards, he says he wants to fight in July. Israel Adesanya, he just fought, so maybe he won't fight in the summer. Like I said, Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka, maybe that could be, the headliner for UFC 291. And John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, I don't, could that be the headline for UFC 291? I don't know. I think they would probably try to make that an International Fight Week at UFC 290. So the UFC is going to have to come up pretty quick with, some main events for UFC 291 if Leon Edwards won't fight in his hometown. Maybe Tom Aspinall comes back, but it's a pay-per-view, so it got to be some kind of championship fight. I don't know. The UFC's great at this, but like I said, I'm an MMA casual. A lot of my friends have been saying the UFC's been pretty hot these first 4 months of 2023. I just worry that the next 4, maybe even 5 months, if John Jones versus Stipe Miocic doesn't happen this summer, and that fight happens at the end of this year in New York City in October, the UFC could be quiet from now all the way through like September, right? April, May, June, July, August. It could be 4 or 5 months of, great fights, but quiet for, MMA casual fans like myself. We will probably we'll be watching a lot more boxing, But let me know your opinion of this story. Do you agree with Leon Edwards that, coming back to fight at UFC 291 in his hometown is a little bit too early in July? Or do you think that he's right and the UFC is just going to have to find another pay-per-view headliner for UFC 291 in London in July? I'm Jason, UFC. Today we had a story about UFC undisputed welterweight champion Leon Edwards closes the door on a hometown July return for the UFC. He wants to fight in Dubai in October. Wow. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button. And please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.